behind me and on top of me and clawing at me. Are the sweetest little kittens and part gremlins. This here is, let's see, let's look at your face. There are two. This is Mint. This is Mint. Mint is a sugar pie, just sweetie bum, cutie patootie, certified baby. And here's Basil. Yeah, what's going on? Another certified cutie patootie. And somewhere, hopefully not getting into too much trouble, are Cuddlebug and Willow, as well as Mama Clover. Are you coming? Okay, Basil wants to say hi again. I think it was, oh, somebody else wants to. Thumbnail photo. Oh my gosh, ridiculously adorable. So, today's video, I'm just gonna be chatting, and you're just gonna be hanging out with me and new family of kittens and their mom, Clover. If you told me like 6 weeks ago I would be in a room being crawled on by kittens, I would be very happy, but also a little bit in disbelief. So I just kind of want to tell you the story of how we all met and vibe. It's gonna be a little chaotic because I'm in a room with 4 kittens who they were born April 6th, so I want to say they are in their 6th week now, 6 weeks old. But I already attempted to film this video, so I'm going to use clips from that as well. And I think they were more like 5.5 or 5. It's incredible how quickly these little babies develop. And just originally when I filmed, they were still in a little kitten playpen, and they were beginning to learn how to crawl out of it, climb out of it. I mean, you want to see them be really heroic. Very good. And now they are fully climbing on top of their cat towers that are in here and on top of me. Are you chewing my hair? Yeah. It's also really distracting, believe it or not, being crawled over, and it's hard to keep my train of thought, so I will be doing a voiceover for a lot of the story, just because I get distracted easily. This is Willow. Willow is, I think, the fluffiest of the babies, and also the one with the biggest tummy. And generally, I think she's one of the least cuddly. Everyone already kind of has a personality, which I am fascinated is the sweetest, cuddliest feral cat I've ever met. I'm uncertain of whether she is a feral cat or a stray, probably from a young age, because she wasn't very interested in human company when I first met her around maybe 3 months ago now. She started showing up to my place, like playing with the Seafoam and Maru through the, like, not glass, but you know, through the doors that you can see through. I thought she was absolutely so adorable, and Seafoam and Maru seemed to enjoy her little visits. And I didn't see any, collar on her, any indication that she might have been someone's pet. So I just started feeding her when she would show up. I wanted her to like me. So she was still very timid. But once I started leaving her food, it wasn't long, like maybe a week, that she just started showing up day and night and hanging out very consistently at my place. She would just spend the whole day. Yeah, you can't climb that. That's why. She would just spend the whole day hanging out, lounging. And occasionally she'd go off to like hunt or do whatever. But for the most part, she was at my place, so. I think the babies are getting ready to want to feed. Mama is still milk feeding the babies herself, but I'm slowly attempting to wean them. Maybe like 2 of them consistently will take a little sludge. Yeah, slurry is a better word. A little slurry milk, like kitten formula and meat. Kitten food, wet food, and a little bit of water, and you just mix it up. I don't think you can have that yet, baby. Oi, oi, oi. You can have Mama's food. Mama, finish your food. Mama is rightfully timid when I move a camera or a mic in front of her. my friends, finally, they were hanging out at my place at the same time that Clover came by for dinner, so they got a better look at her before I was just sending bunches of photos. And one of them, who has worked as a receptionist at a vet clinic before, told me that Clover kind of looked like she might be pregnant. That or she had worms. And we were generally pretty optimistic that she was pregnant. Um, she seemed like a pretty healthy cat, only that she was like eating a bunch. I thought it was just because she was, hungry from just not having food available to her, being a feral/stray cat. But she was pretty round, and that can always be a sign of worms, or it could be a sign of pregnancy. And I just remember being really excited. My friends were excited. They all kind of were considering adopting kittens, so it was kind of very serendipitous if she were pregnant. So we wanted to believe she was. I decided to schedule a vet visit for her just so they could check her up, make sure everything was alright. I had the idea in my mind to perhaps adopt her, bring her indoors to have her babies if she wanted to, and if she felt comfortable. It already seemed like she was really interested in Seafoam, and Maru wanted to cuddle them and be their friends. She's a very friendly, sociable cat with other cats. A lot more shy with humans, probably just because she's had negative or limited experiences with humans. So I thought the best bet would be take her to the vet, make sure she doesn't have anything transmittable to my boys that would compromise their health, make sure she was healthy for her babies and whatnot. I tried the first time to get her in a little kennel that I take Maru and Seafoam to the vet in. She was not having it. I lured her with churro, which I find, is a fiend for churro. She is obsessed with these. day or two before her vet appointment, she kind of was acting weird. She didn't show up like she usually would to my backyard. When she was in my backyard, she kind of was avoiding me and hid in some bushes. Me and my friend thought maybe this meant she was going into labor. She hadn't touched her food for a day, so we thought that this meant she was going into labor. We weren't able to catch her, and I didn't want to if she was giving birth, because the last thing you want to do is overstress mama and also separate her from her babies. You just don't want to do that when they're so young, and it can affect how she bonds with her kittens. So I let her be and gave her a break from, being caught going to the vet. Eventually, she kind of just went back to her usual behavior. She started eating again. No kittens in sight that I could see. And yeah, that's when I kind of started leaning more perhaps to thinking that maybe she had worms. We were so certain that she was giving birth. And then when she didn't, I started thinking of what it could also be and going down that path more. Either way, all the same, I wanted to take her to the vet. So I gave her about a week and a half, and I rescheduled the vet. And this time, good morning, everybody. Good morning. This time, as the vet appointment rolled around, she managed to evade me and my friend. We couldn't catch her. She's about to feed babies again. Couldn't catch her, and had to just give up once more. And this time though, she disappeared for a day and a half or something like that, maybe 2. Did not show up at all. Her food bowl was untouched. I got really scared that she was done with me and the stress that I was causing her. So I didn't want to stress her out and took another break of trying to catch her and take her to the vet. But then I saw one day she came around, when she came back, came around with a wound on her abdomen. It looked like 3 puncture wounds. The hair around it was gone. So I was worried. And she had been hanging out with 2 cats that had mange. I already was worried she might catch mange, and then when I saw those wounds, I really, really thought she had mange. I was like, this time, I need to get her to the vet because she does not look good. So I rented a humane cat trap, the kinds that when you place food on the inside, the cat goes in and then they step on something that triggers the door to close behind them. I left that in my backyard and started feeding her in it, and I had tied it up so that it would not close, so that she would get comfortable, because I was not going to risk messing this one up this time. She's very smart and would not fall for the same trap twice. So I scheduled the vet appointment. We have the cage, it's all set up. She's been eating out of it. I'm so confident that this time she's going to the vet. And then a day before her vet appointment, she kind of vanishes again. And at this point, I've shed tears about all the failed attempts. good. I had to call the vet, tell them I wouldn't be able to come in. She was not having it. Not the vet, I mean Clover was not having it. Was not gonna want to go into her trap. And so I asked if I could just bring her in the next day. If I miraculously was able to catch her. Next morning, early in the morning, she shows up for food. She comes out of the hiding spot and she starts walking into the cat trap, which I've now cut the little tie that kept it open so that this time it would close. And then it happens. It works. She's caught. I'm floating. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I have the tarp set up in the back of my car that I got from the Ace Hardware so that if she peed or anything, it wouldn't get on the seats. I sprung into action. I called the vet. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm coming in. I wasn't really paying too much attention to. I was just too excited that I got her. So I took her to the vet. At the vet, we talk a little bit about my concerns for her. I mentioned that I thought at one point that she might be pregnant, but now I just kind of thought she had worms and mange, and I wanted to get her treated for those things. And just test her for all the feline, rabies and stuff. And they say, okay, but because she's feral, we might have to put her down. Not put her down, but give her anesthesia, kitty ketamine, as it were. And I said, okay, yeah, I understand. Most important is that I want to make sure she, oh my god, there's so many cards, I'm sorry, is that I want to make sure she gets the care that she needs, and that she, yeah, is given medication and given a thorough examination. So, boom, I leave because it would take a bit to do everything that they wanted to, and I get a call later in the day basically saying that according to their initial examination, it looks like Clover may be pregnant. I got so excited immediately on the phone still. I texted the group chat. I'm like, she's pregnant, she's pregnant. And then they follow up with, and because we gave her anesthesia, those kittens are non-viable. Basically, the kittens would die because of the level of anesthesia in her system. So then I started crying and texted the group chat and was feeling so guilty and awful for being so misreading her health and signs and taking her in when I may have just caused her to lose her babies. They asked me if I want to do some sort of x-ray to see if there are skeletons, fetal skeletons. Baby got scared. Fetal skeletons or whatnot. And I say yes, I want to make sure to know if she was or was not pregnant. And they call me back later to say that they didn't see any fetal skeletons, and that this could mean she either has recently given birth or that she's early in her pregnancy and will probably abort in the next couple days, or I don't know what else, I forget what else. But immediately I thought, her growling, where she was hiding, could she have been protecting kittens? So I run to where I last saw her hiding, and I'm searching and I'm looking, and in the corner where I almost missed them were 4 sweet tiny little balls of kittens. She had been gone, mind you. I took her into the vet around 9. rushing, I talked to the vet, asked them what their opinion about what I should do. They told me that because mom was still had like the anesthesia in her system, if she were to feed the kittens, they would ingest that through her milk and they would most likely die. So it wasn't just like, okay, I pick up Clover, bring her back to her babies, and done. It was, how can I make sure these babies survive while mom is still getting this anesthesia out of her system? So the best option that I felt I had was to take in the babies. I got them a little heating pad, some blankets and things. I quickly ordered some kitten food formula and like nipple attachments. There was only puppy ones available, and I happened to already have syringes from the Tooth Fairy roleplay, so I used those as like a little kitten feeding bottle and tried to feed them. It was really awkward. I've never fed kittens before. I was freaking out. But thankfully I had a friend who recently fostered some kittens, 2 kittens, and knew everything there was to know. So they helped me so much. They recommended the Kitten Lady, I think is her name. She does kitten videos. Just has so many resources for new time kitten parents. So I kept them warm, kept them fed, and mom was back from the vet now. I brought her to this room and let her get cozy for a bit while the anesthesia ran out of her system. She was understandably stressed, defensive, scared, and I could tell she was worried about her babies, looking for where her babies were. And I felt really bad having to keep her away from them, but I knew if I brought them together, they might die. So eventually the time rolled around where they could be reintroduced, which was around 5 hours. It's 8 hours total. You want to wait for it to get out of her system. I brought them into the room. She seemed happy to see them. Immediately her energy shifted and she started purring and she got super cuddly. She let me pet her, which she hadn't before. And she started like rubbing up on me, so I could tell she was happy to see her babies. But unfortunately, I don't think she felt safe enough to feed them yet. She was even sometimes aggressive towards them in the sense that she would like hiss at them. So I immediately was like, okay, I'm gonna keep feeding these babies until mom hopefully bonds with them. And if any of you have fostered kittens, you know that you have to feed them every 2 to 3 hours. So I had my hands full. It was a marathon where I just was not really sleeping. I'd sleep for an hour, wake up and feed the kittens, and then wrap up and go to bed, sleep for an hour, try to feed the kittens. The next morning, because I did this all night, the next morning I was calling every vet clinic, every pet sanctuary, every, humane society and stuff to see if anybody was able to give me advice about the kittens and mom, and or take in kittens to foster in case mom didn't bond with them. I had Feel Away and everything set up. She had a safe little corner. I was trying to do everything to get her to bond, but I wasn't sure she would. Everywhere was booked and busy. There was not a space available for kittens. One of the places I called to ask about taking in kittens said if they took them in, they would just have to euthanize them. So I said no. I was like, absolutely not. Half asleep. And it wasn't something that I thought a friend could help with because mom felt the most comfortable with me and I didn't want to stress her out even further. It was kind of scary because every time I'd walk in, mom would like growl or hiss a little bit. So I had to overcome my fear of evil cats or whatever that I perceive as like threatening behavior. But I did it anyway because the kittens needed to be fed, and I'm the one who thought it was a good idea to bring mom to the vet. Anyways, it was an honest misunderstanding, but right when I thought I couldn't go on anymore and I was like in tears, mom finally just like walked into the little area that I had the kittens in. It was basically a laundry basket, and took over from me feeding them, and I nearly cried, texted the friend group again, let everyone know, oh my gosh, she's feeding them. And since then, it's been basically smooth sailing. More or less, I overthink things and I worry, and I want to make sure everybody's healthy and on the right weight targets for their age, and hitting all the milestones, weaning properly, whatever. And then I'm also thinking about how mom, Clover, is gonna bond with Seafoam Maru and all that, and her getting time outside of this room. It's all something I'm balancing and still figuring out. But thankfully, all the babies already have homes to go to once they are about 8 to 12 weeks old. They are getting their first vaccines, their first round of vaccines next week, hitting them milestones. So I'm pretty happy with where things are at with everyone right now. I just feel very lucky to just have these sweet babies in my life, and mama have her in my life. She's so sweet and cuddly, and I think she and Maru and Seafoam are gonna do alright. I think they're gonna get along really well. Maru and Seafoam they need a little bit more time because they're not used to cats, strange cats in their house. But they're holding up pretty well, I gotta say. Excuse me, you don't bite. No, you bite this. What strong jumpers. Strong jumpers you've got. So that concludes our little story time in Kitten ASMR Hangout. It has been an immense privilege and honor to co-parent these kittens with Clover, and to just see her trust me and get so comfortable with me. Maybe not with the camera, but with me. She's gotten a lot more cuddly and comfortable. And yeah, to just have these little kittens to watch grow and be absolutely silly little furry goofballs. It's just been, I feel very, very lucky, and they've been a little lifeline for me, I want to say. It's just of joy and sweetness, and I mean, I have a room full of kittens. What? They're able to find moments of joy and wonder in your day-to-day life. You're allowed to have some pleasure